Alright, let's get started with Autodesk Inventor. So once you've opened up Inventor by clicking the orange iPro button on your desktop, you should be greeted to a screen that looks similar to this one. And on your screen you'll notice it says New. For a new project, you can open an old project, and down here you'll see recent projects. If you're interested, there's also some tutorials that aren't bad. So we're going to go to New, because I'm going to assume since you're watching this video that you haven't seen one yet, or haven't done anything yet. So, New. And we're going to start drawing in English measure in inches. You could also choose, of course, metric, which I actually prefer on here, but whatever. So here's English, and we're going to go to Standard IPT, and this is for any normal drawing that you're going to make. So once you go there, you can either double click, or you can just click it once and then go down here and check Create. Alright, now your computer should eventually come along and load up the regular drawing screen. It may take a moment for it to respond. And there we go. Alright. So at this point you'll be greeted with some sort of screen. It's probably a different color. And I just want to point out a couple of things to you. First off, over here is the browser. And this is all the instructions for everything you would have drawn already. It's over here. And up here, this happens to be, this is the ribbon across the top. And these are all the options for each different button on the ribbon. I really recommend that you customize Inventor a little bit, just to make it look better for you. I like this blue color. When I'm drawing on the board, I like to make it white because it looks better for that, and different things might be better for your eyes. So let's see. If you go to Tools up here in the ribbon, you go to Application Options, and you can change the colors, for example. So that's deep blue. I like that one. Forest is also nice. But there's lots of other options that you may decide that you like. I like this one too. I also like the bright colors here. Anyway, once you've chose that, then you're going to check OK. You also may want to change your view by going to View and then Visual Style. And I like shaded with edges. Alright. Anyway, other things you can change here, by the way, is you can change your user interface. I probably would avoid all these changes for now, but these are places that you can change, like the full navigation wheel, something you might like. Anyway, back to 3D model. Alright, so now that you've opened up Inventor and you have it customized the way you want, let's start drawing our object. So the first thing you want to do, in my mind, is immediately save your object, because you can always hit Control S and save it as you're working on it, and it just makes it easier to not lose it. So we'll name it right away. So we'll go to Save. When you do that, let's give it a name that makes sense. So I named it New Project, and it's going to be saved as IPT, which is what we want. And don't save it in My Documents. You want to save it in your I folder by clicking here. You're going to go down here where it says Simmons. Yours is going to have your lunch number. That'll be your folder that's on the school's network. You'll be able to access that as long as you're in the school district on the school's network. You'll be able to access that, and you'll even have it in high school if you care to look. So that's where you would click, and then you would check Save. Save it. And you see here now it says New Project. Now you can't see what I'm about to do on the keyboard, but I'm going to hit Control S, and that saves it. So anytime I want, I can save it, and that saves me from accidentally having, the chance of losing my drawing. And since I saved it to the network, it's always going to be available, even if I'm on a different computer somewhere else, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so next thing you want to do is go to Create 2D Sketch. If you hit the little drop down, there's an option for a 3D sketch, which is really neat, but you don't want to do it. Not at this point anyway. And also, by the way, if you hover over any button for very long, you'll see that a little description will come up, and that's kind of nice. So you can either click there or you can click the top. And now you have the Cartesian planes. I'm going to choose this one because I like it. It doesn't really matter at this point which one you choose. And here I am now in my drawing. So just to get you started, I'm going to make a rectangle. Maybe I'll poke a couple holes in it or something. So I'm going to go to rectangle here, but I'm going to click the drop down next to it because I don't want to use the 2-point rectangle. I want to use a 2-point center, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to take this yellow dot and put it in the center of the drawing, and you notice it turns green. That means it's lined up. I'm going to left click with the mouse, and then without clicking again, I'm going to drag out. And I haven't clicked again. Now you see that in the center, highlighted, it says 1.326 inches. I'm going to make that 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to tab, and just to make this, I'm going to make this 3 inches. So I type 3, and then I'm going to press enter. So again, I typed 1.5, and then I hit the tab button on the left-hand side of your keyboard, and then I typed 3 because that's what I want it to be. And now I'm going to press enter, and now there it is. Okay. Now, you might notice that if I click again anywhere, it wants to draw another rectangle, but I don't want to. This is annoying, so what am I going to do? I'm going to press at this point, there's two things I can do. I can right click, and I can hit check OK, and that gets rid of it. Or I could have pressed escape, which is in the top left-hand corner of your keyboard, and you'll probably use that a lot. Also, if I accidentally did click, now I have this in there, and I want to get rid of it, check OK, and I can hit the control button in the bottom left of your keyboard and Z, and that's basically undo. And there, it's gone. Also, if you look on your screen, up here somewhere, there's an undo button. This is awkward. Oh, there it is. Undo. Right there. Undo. See? Okay, anyway. So this is zoomed out, and I can't see the whole drawing, which is annoying. So I'm going to go over here to this box and click in the center, and I'm going to left click one time, and it's going to resize my view so I can see it. Alright, so this is great. That's what I wanted. So now I'm going to go to Finish Sketch on the top right and click. And I can roll my mouse wheel out also to zoom out. Now I want to make this into a three-dimensional object, so I'm going to go to Extrude. Left click on that. And now I'm going to left click on this. And I can type in any number I want here. I can make this 1 inch, like it says. I can make it 1/8 inch if I wanted. Or I can make it 5 inches if that's what I wanted. Whatever I like. So by the way, these are all movable. I can move this one around, and I can move this one around. And not only that, but this view and this view are really the same. This one has just been shrunken, and this one has been expanded, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, I like 5, so I'll stick with 5. Okay. Now, so I have my basic shape, and I can look at it by clicking on the corner of the box and trying to dragging it around. Now let's say I want to make a new drawing right here. So I can click there, and I have these pictures that show up. So I left clicked on here, it highlighted in red, and I can edit the extrusion. So I could change this. Maybe I would rather it be 4 inches. Or I can edit the sketch. That's the original sketch, now highlighted in red, that I made. Or I can create a new sketch. Let's create a new sketch. Alright, on this new sketch I'm going to make an ellipse. So you see that green dotted line? Now it's on the left and the bottom. That means I'm in the center of this shape. Sometimes it's nice to do. So I wanted to be in the center, so I went there. And I go vertical. And you see the two diagonal lines that are near the cursor? They're saying that that's a vertical line. And now I can make the shape. Oh, by the way, that plus arrow line thing, that's saying we're going to connect this to the line on the edge of the rectangle that you made. That's also a nice thing. You should be aware of these things because all of these symbols are telling you information that's important. You may want that to be connected there, or you may not want it to be connected there, and so that's your decision. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do, so I'm going to right click, check OK, and now I'm going to finish my sketch. Alright, I want to take this and make it as a whole, so I'm going to go back to Extrude. I'm going to point to this, and notice it's red. I'm going to left click one time, but I want this to be a whole. And it's going out. That's not what I want. So I'm going to go over here and see how it highlights and it says cut. I can also choose it as a drop down over here. Same difference. Choose cut. And since I wanted to go all the way through, 5 is fine. But any number bigger than the thickness of it is fine. It happens to be 1.5 inches. So that would be okay. So I'm going to check OK. And now I have a hole. Excellent. Now, everything I've done so far showed up over here in the browser and is listed. So if I want to change the original sketch, I don't have to throw this drawing away and start over again. I can go over here to Extrusion 1, find Sketch 1, right-click on it, and I can edit the sketch. So for example, if I want this to be 3 1/4 inches, I can double-click on it and change the dimension to whatever I want. And then when I'm done, I finish the sketch. And now this will update and it's bigger. If I wanted to change this, I can edit this sketch. And I could make my oval bigger or smaller, or whatever I like. Finish my sketch. And there we have it. So that's the basic of how we draw things. You should always try to go back and edit over here whenever you can, rather than try to delete things and start over again. It's usually easier and faster to do that. Even to the point where if I wanted to add, say, another hole over here, maybe I want 4 holes. I go back over here, edit this sketch, and I can add 4 new holes. I'm not dimensioning these. Actually, I'll show you how to dimension them after the fact. So I made 4 random holes. Let's dimension this. So I click on Dimension, click on my circle, and I'm going to make it 1/2 inch in diameter. And I can do that for all of these. And you should always dimension your drawings as you go, and dimension every aspect of your drawings as you go, because if you don't, you really have no control over the location of the items in your drawing. There are ways to do this more efficiently than I'm doing it now, but this is getting my holes to be all correctly spaced if I want them 1/2 inch from each side, and we'll make them come out evenly. Alright, so you can see it takes a second, but it's not too bad. I could have done it other ways, by the way. Or better, like I said, better ways. I'll show you in the future. So I'm going to finish this sketch. Oh no, it's gone. I can't see it. The sketch has disappeared. If I go over here, there it is. And whoops, it's playing peekaboo. All right. What happens is it auto hides it. So I want this to be visible so that I can use it as an extrude. So I'm going to right click on it. And I'm going to go down here where it says Visibility and left click. And now it's visible. So now I can extrude these. I can make these holes, or I can make these grow outward. And I can make them go any depth I want. I can make it go 3/4 of an inch into the part. Whoops, I extruded them 3/4 of an inch out. I can edit this extrusion now. I can go back and edit the feature, which is the extrusion. And I can make them as a cut. Okay, bit of a problem here. If I check OK, now they're just gone. Looks like I froze my computer. Oh, it's very unhappy. All right, cancel. I should be able to fix this, but if I can't, I can delete it. So I can right click on it, check delete, and it'll ask me. I thought it was going to ask me if we wanted to delete this sketch, but it didn't. All right, let's try again. So extrude as a cut this time. Point to it, it's red. Point to it, it's red. 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 Okay. And there we are. Now I don't want to see this drawing anymore. It's ugly. So I'm going to go back, right click, and uncheck visibility. That's my part. Okay, so that should be enough to get you started on Inventor. You can do all sorts of other things. We can make 3D. We can make patterns. We can make mirrors and other really interesting things over here.